After 9 years of war, after so much violence in Iraq and controversy at home, the war is over. In Baghdad today, the last of 4,000 troops in the U.S. forces flag will soon head home. 1.5 million men and women served here. 4,500 of them died. More than 30,000 wounded.
Cost was high. The blood and treasure of the United States, and also for the Iraqi people. But those lives have not been lost in vain. They gave birth to an independent, free, and sovereign Iraq.
As of Monday, about 6,000 U.S. troops were still in Iraq. All but 150 are expected to be out by the end of the year.
And we're going to now get some personal perspective tonight on the end of the war in Iraq. We turn now to Chris Newsome, a veteran who served. He's been back home in the tri-state from the war in Iraq and in Afghanistan for about 5 years now. Chris, thank you for joining us. Some people say it's about time. Other people say we're coming out a little too soon. Where do you land on that?
The whole situation is somewhat bittersweet, but welcome nonetheless. It's been a long road, but I do feel that it is about time. We've invested a significant number of troops, energy, and efforts towards training the Iraqi security force to be able to take over at this point. And if there's ever been a time, you know, it's now. Time's going to tell.
You just heard the Secretary of Defense say essentially 4,500 American dead, 32,000 wounded, $800 billion in U.S. treasure spent, but that was not in vain. You share that view? I
absolutely do. You know, as many troops that have served overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan still are, that have lost somebody, you never want to think that it's in vain. And you know, when it comes down to it, politics and the reason that you're there in the first place kind of gets brushed aside, pardon me. And it's really about your buddies to your left and your right. And you know, Saddam was a terrible dictator, and the country was in need of a regime change. It didn't go as smoothly as we had hoped, but nonetheless, hopefully, you know, it's a brighter future for them and ourselves.
Just a few seconds left, but there's some guys going to be coming home soon. What are they coming home to, and what would you recommend to them?
They're coming home to open arms. They need to know that there are a lot of resources out there in terms of support. Your local VA, always essential, family, friends. Get enrolled in college. There are firms such as the one that I work for, Recruit Military. We are there solely to help them facilitate that transition. We work with clients all over the U.S. helping them find work, so there are resources to take advantage of. Use them.
All right, we've been talking with Chris Newsome, former Army, out of the Army now for 5 years, back home from Afghanistan and Iraq in particular. We appreciate your perspective tonight.
Thank you very much.
Carol?